So in the last session, we have discussed about what exactly the collections, what is the use of collection, what is the difference between an array and a collection, what type of collections available in Salesforce, and we have discussed about the list collection. Now, as part of this Apex programming, it is providing three types of collections to us. One is a list collection, second is a set collection, third one is a map collection. Now we are already done with that list collection. Now we will see the set collection here. Now, what exactly the set collection? What is the use of the set collection? Now let's see here. So now, as you are aware of, set is also one of the collection type. Nothing but this is a class which is used to hold a collection of elements. In order to store some collection of elements, we are using this set collection. Now when coming to the set collection, so what kind of features it offers to us? We'll see now. When coming to the set collection class is an unordered collection. Set is an unordered collection. Unordered collection means what? Whatever the order that you have added the elements. Suppose for example, now for example, we are adding some elements here. Assume that this is the collection that we have. So this is the collection that we have. For example, I'm adding some elements inside this collection here. Like I'm adding some welcome. Okay, this is the first element I'm adding here. Now that element will be there in the collection. That element will be there in the collection. So whatever the element that you have added, that element will be storing inside the collection automatically. And whenever I'm adding one more element here, like as some Apex, now generally what it has to do, it has to add this element to the end of that collection. But when coming to the set collection, whenever you are adding the elements in a specific order, the elements will not be there inside the collection in the same order which you have inserted. Whatever the order that you have followed while inserting that element, in the same order the element will not be available inside the collection. Nothing but insertion order will not be preserved in set collection. So set is the ordered collection. Nothing but our insertion order is different and the actual elements inside the collection order will be different here. Suppose for example, assume that I have my mobile. Inside my mobile, I'm adding a new contact. Okay, I'm adding a new contact. So now whenever you are adding a new contact, by giving some name like some Ramesh or Pawan, whatever, I'm adding a new contact inside that. Now what will happen? I have given that name as some Ramesh. That contact will be visible to you at the end of the contacts list? No. That contact will be arranged in the automatically in the sorting order. The same thing, nothing but here also, whatever the order that you have added the elements in the collection, in the same order the element will not be available. Automatically this will be sorting order here. When coming to the set collection, whenever you are adding the element, the elements will not be available in the same order which you have inserted. The element will be in the jumbling order, nothing but in the sorting order by default. So that we don't know where exactly my element is available. Even though I have added some 4 elements, then even though I'm having 4 elements are there inside my collection, we don't know the 4th element will be available at with which position. Because the elements are not storing in the same order. If the elements are storing in the same order, then based on that insertion order, I can able to identify this is the index position where my element is available. But here, it is not maintaining any indexes over here. If you are adding that 4th element, that may be adding at the first also. If I'm adding the third element, that may be available at the second position also, whatever. Based on the starting order, the elements will be automatically getting arranged, so that we can't assure, okay, we can't assure these are the four elements that are added in the same order, the elements are available inside that collection, because it is not following that same order, it is going to be adding in the sorting order by default here. So for that, when coming to that set collection, set is unordered collection. Set is an unordered collection where the elements will not be available in the same order as they were inserted. That is, set collection will not preserve the insertion order. Set collection will not preserve the insertion order. Now, when coming to the set collection, how many elements you can store? Number of elements also we can store. No need to specify any size. Okay, no need to specify any size. Depends upon the number of elements you are keep on adding, automatically memory will be keep on extending automatically by default. So because of what? Dynamic memory allocation. Nothing but what happened dynamically depends upon the number of elements you are adding, then automatically the memory will be keep on extending automatically by default. In future, if you are removing any of the element from the collection, then automatically the memory will be getting decreased. So that when coming to the set collection is going to be supporting the dynamic memory allocation, so that there is no chance of memory wastage. Nothing but it is utilizing the memory very, very efficiently, where the set collection size can grow or shrink at runtime, depends upon the requirement. Whenever you are keep on adding the element, then automatically size will be increased. If the size is increased, automatically memory is also extended by default. Now, when coming to the set collection supports dynamic memory allocation, hence it provides efficient utilization of memory. And the set collection size can grow or shrink at runtime. At runtime depends on the elements added by the user. Depends upon the elements added by the user. Now, if the set collection is able to hold the elements, then what type of elements the set collection can able to hold? Like as the list collection, set collection also can able to hold every type of element. Like it can able to hold the primitive type of elements, subject type of elements, apex type of elements, collection type of elements, and the user defined types also. Everything it can able to hold inside that. There is no specific restriction. When coming to the set collection can able to hold, set collection can hold primitive type elements, subject type, collection type, apex type, and user defined type elements. All the types of elements we can able to store inside the set collection. Whenever you are storing the elements inside that collection, it won't maintain any indexes. There is no concept of index when coming to the set collection. Okay, there is no concept of index in set collection here. so that there is no option in set collection to get the element based on index. Okay, based on the index, we are fetching the elements from that list collection. But here there is no concept of index, because here the elements are not in the same order. If the elements are in the same order, then we can able to get that insertion order. Based on that, we can assume that index position. Based on that, we can fetch the element. But here we don't know in which order the elements are available. Where exactly my element is available, we don't know. So that there is no concept of indexes here. We cannot get the element by using that index. Now, so now when coming to the set collection, it won't maintain any indexes over here. Now, the next one. When coming to the set collection, the main important feature is set collection does not allow duplicate elements. Okay, duplicate elements will not be acceptable in set collection. Now, when coming to the interview point of view, they will raise a question here. Now, what is the difference between, exact difference between, the main difference between list and set? There, when coming to the list collection, already we have discussed, even though if you are adding the same elements multiple times, it will be keep on adding that element by directly here. Nothing but list collection will be holding the duplicate elements also. But when coming to the set collection, whenever you are trying to be adding a duplicate element, set collection simply ignores that operation. It won't show any error message. Okay, it won't show any error message. Simply it will be ignoring that operation here. Simply it will be ignoring the adding that element, because here before adding that element, first of all it is verifying this element is already there in the collection or not. If the element is there, simply it will ignore adding this element again. So now for that here, when coming to the set collection will not allow the duplicate elements here. This is the most important feature. Set collection will not allow duplicate elements. Here I will show you one small point over here. Let's see. For example, I have added the element welcome into my set collection. Now, this is my set collection. Now, inside my set collection, I have added this element here. Now, whenever you are adding the element apex, then what will happen is, now apex will be nothing but the first character A. A will be starting first, and then W will be coming next. So that here what happened is, this welcome will be moving down, and in this place it will be adding that element apex. In the first place it is adding that apex. Now I'm adding one more element over here, like as some apex again. But here observe this one, A is small. Okay, A is small and the remaining are same. Now what will happen in this case? What will happen in this case? Now in this case, whenever you are adding this element, then automatically element will be getting added over here. Okay, the element will be getting added over here. Nothing but what it means, the elements are different. How these elements are different? Because when coming to the set collection is going to be using the binary comparison. Okay, set collection is using the binary comparison whenever it is comparing the elements before inserting a new one. Now, whenever it is trying to be adding the new element apex, now it is verifying that this apex element is already there in the collection or not. So now whenever it is identifying that apex is already there here, but here the A is capital, but now here A is small. So now for the capital A, we are having ASCII code different. For the small a, we are having a different ASCII code is available. So at that time, the binary formats are also different, so that these elements are different over here. So that whenever it is going to be maintaining the uniqueness of those elements, it is using that binary comparison by default. Okay, this is one of the features that we have to remember over here. This is a very, very important interview point of view question. Okay, so if I'm adding the same elements with the different cases, then will it be acceptable or not? Yes, it will accept, because when coming to the set collection, whenever it is trying to be maintaining the uniqueness, nothing but eliminating the duplicates. At that time, while maintaining the uniqueness of the elements inside the collection, it is using binary comparison, so that capital A and small a both are different. Okay, capital A, small a both are different, because both are having two different unique ASCII code values. So now, let's make a note up here. It maintains the uniqueness of the elements by using binary comparison. By using binary comparison. Now, next one. When coming to the set collection here. So now how can we manage the elements inside this set collection? Now let's see practically. Before that, we'll be discussing about the syntax. We have to use set of data type, collection object name, whatever the name that you want, you can specify for the object, new set of data type. Now a collection will be getting prepared for you here. For example, we can able to create set of ID. A card ID is a set, new set of ID, where we can able to maintain the uniqueness here. It can able to hold a collection of IDs, record IDs, set of string. I'm giving some country names, new set of string. Now it can able to hold a collection of string elements, set of account, accounts set equals to new set of account. Nothing but only account records we can able to insert. It can hold a collection of account records. Nothing but each and every element is nothing but an account record here. Set of some position underscore C. Positions set equals to new set of position. It can hold a collection of position records. Like that, we can able to store a collection of elements inside the set collection also here. Now, when coming to the set collection, once you have defined the set collection, in order to manage the elements inside the set collection, Salesforce is providing some set of instance methods. Now, set collection class provides a set of instance methods to manage the elements inside the collection. Instance methods means the methods which can be able to access by using object name dot method name. Now, then what are the various methods provided by the set collections? Now we will see. The first method, add. In order to adding that element here. For example, I am creating a set collection here. Set of string, like some country names, or else you can give simply some customer names, whatever. Or I'm giving that as names collection, new set of string. So now, what are the various elements are available? Now we'll see. Sorry, the methods. The first method is add method. So inside this method, we have to pass an element name which you are going to add. We are going to be adding an element into the collection by using add. So now what exactly the add here? Add method. By using this add method, we can able to add a new element to the collection. Now, by using this method, we can add a new element to the collection. Nothing but most of the methods will be looking like as same like as your list collection. Now, whenever you are adding the element, then where this element will be available, the element will not be available in the same order which you have inserted. The element will be available in the jumbling order here. Now, upon adding the elements to the collection, then Salesforce will arrange elements in ascending order by default, in sorting order by default. Sorting order by default. Then how can we add the elements here? Now, names collection dot add. I'm adding some welcome. Names collection dot add. I'm adding some apex. Names collection dot add. I'm adding some Hyderabad. Like that, we can able to add some number of elements also inside this collection. Now, so now when coming to the elements, if you want to add a collection of elements in a single shot, we have to use a method called as add all. We have to use a method called as add all method. So what is the use of this add all method? This add all method is used to add a collection of elements into the collection directly in a single shot. Now, this method is used to add a collection of elements, the collection at a time. In a single shot, we can able to add a collection of elements to the collection by using add all method. Now, for example, I'm having some collection of elements are available here. Like I'm having a list collection, list of some string. Now some names, new list of string. I'm having some elements are there. Country names dot add of some India. Now this is some Middle East. And this is some Australia. This is some Japan. Now these are the elements are available inside my list collection. If you want to dump all these elements from the list collection into my set collection, then how can we do that? Further, we can use add all method here. So now for that, simply we can do names collection dot add all. From that, what the country names. Okay, nothing but what happened. We can able to add the elements from the array. We can add the elements from the list collection. We can add the elements from the set collection also here. So at that time, we have to specify this collection name inside this add all method so that in this collection, whatever the elements are available, each and every element will be getting dumping into your map color in the set collection here. But whenever it is adding this element into the set collection, so at that time, if this element is already there, then simply it will be ignoring adding this element again because elements will be maintaining like as the uniqueness inside that. Okay, the elements are going to be adding like as uniqueness. Nothing but we cannot able to hold the two elements with the same name. Now, the third method is size method. Integer size method. What exactly the use of this size method? The size method is used to get the collection size. Nothing but how many number of elements are available inside the collection that will be identified by using this size method, which is going to be returning an integer value which indicates that the number of elements available inside the collection. Now, the same method already we have discussed in the yesterday session as well here. Names collection dot size. And the fourth method is empty. This is also we have discussed. So what is the use of this method? This method is used to identify whether the specified collection is empty or not. Nothing but if there is any elements are available or not here. So now let me know. So in order to identify the collection is empty or not, this is the only method do we need to use, or any other alternatives are there? Any other way with the methods which we have discussed? Empty means what? The number of elements are 0.
What is the question, Firoz?
So how can we identify whether the collection is empty or not without using is empty method?
The size, if the collection size is zero.
Size, right, correct. So nothing but here when coming to the interview point of view, this is very, very important here. How can we identify whether the collection is empty or not without using is empty method? We are having the size method. If the size is equals to 0 means there is no elements, nothing but collection is empty. So that we can use that size method also here. Now, when coming to the is empty method, it is going to be returning the Boolean value to you, which indicates whether the collection is empty or not. If the collection is empty, it will return true, or else it will return false. Now, it returns a Boolean value which indicates whether the collection is empty or not. And it returns true when the collection is empty. And it returns false when the collection is not empty. When the collection is not empty, it is returning that value as false. So that we can able to identify by using that names collection dot is empty. And the next method. The next method is Boolean contains. Now, I'm having some set of elements are there inside my collection. Then I want to verify whether a specified element is exists inside my collection or not. I want to find out. Okay, I want to find out whether the specified element is exist or not here. I know one element name. Now I want to cross check that this element is already there in the collection or not. So for that here we are using the contains method. This contains method is going to be verifying the specified element is exist inside the collection or not. If the element is available inside the collection, it will be returning true, or else it will return false. Based on that, we can able to add that element into the collection here. Now, this method is used to check whether the specified element is exist inside the collection or not. Now, it returns true if the element is exist, else it returns false. Else it returns false. So further we can able to cross check. Names collection dot contains of some apex. We can able to cross check. If the element is available, it will be returning true, or else it will be returning false. The next method, remove. Remove method here. This method is used to removing the element from the collection. Whatever the element that we have specified, that element will be getting removed from the collection over here. This method is used to remove the specified element from the collection. For example, names collection dot remove of some welcome. Now this element will be getting removed automatically here. And the seventh one, clear method. So now clear method, already you are aware of that. This clear method is used to remove all the elements from the collection. This method is used to remove all the elements from the collection, like as names collection dot clear. And the next one, remove all. Here we can specify the collection. Nothing but I'm having some collection of elements are there which I need to remove. Not only one, I'm having some set of elements are there which I need to remove here. Then how can we remove these elements? For that we have to use a method called as remove all method. Whatever the element names that you have mentioned inside this collection, these elements will be removing from your collection over here. The remaining elements will be there as it is. So now for that here, this method is used to remove collection of elements from the set at a time. In a single shot, if you want to remove some collection of elements, we can able to remove by using this, the remove all method over here. So now, for example, we have to specify names collection dot remove all of. You can specify the collection object name. Now, so now these are the various methods are available when coming to that set collection. And then we have to use these methods in order to manage the elements inside that collection over here. Now, the next one is the map collection. So what exactly the map collection? What is the use of this map collection? Let's see practically here.
Feroz, one question.
Yeah, tell me, Sridhar.
Uh, I don't understand this syntax for remove all collection. What do you mean by name collection name after inside the bracket?
See, here we have to specify. Suppose, for example, in my set collection, I'm having some thousands of elements are there. So now at that time, I have identified some 10 collections are there, nothing but some 10 elements are there, which I would like to remove. If you want to remove each and every element, what happened? Then we have to go with that remove method. By using remove method, we can able to add each and every item separately. But instead of that, you can prepare a list collection. You can prepare a list collection, lst items to remove, new list collection here. Or else you can use the array also, whatever.
Oh, we have to provide that list.
We have to provide that list of elements to this list collection, and we have to pass those collection over here. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Now. So just give me 2 minutes because I'm getting a call and I will come back again. Okay. So now we will see the map collection. So what exactly the map collection? What is the use of map collection? How to store the elements inside the map collection? Now we will see. Now, in some cases, we are going to be storing some elements. Like, I want to store an element where the element will be having the two values. Okay, where every element will be having two values. One is the key and the second one is the value. Okay, first one is the key, second one is the value. Now we are having two values are there for every element here. One is the key, second one is the value. Like for example here, assume that I'm having the users. For every user what we are having two elements are there. One is a username and the second one is a password. One is a username and the second one is a password. So now here we can able to store some collection of users information, nothing but multiple users information where every user will be having two values. One is a username, second one is a password. Now, whenever you are having the username and the password, then based on which we can identify this user based on the username. Nothing but username should be always unique. Password may be same also. Okay, password may be same also for multiple users. Or else I have created some Gmail accounts. 5 to 6 Gmail accounts I'm having right now. But for all the Gmail accounts, I'm using some same password. Because if I'm giving a different password, then it will be very difficult for me to remember all the passwords. So for that, what we can do, we can able to maintain the same password. So now for that, what happened? Gmail account IDs are different, but the passwords are same. Nothing but what happened? Multiple users information we can store where username should be always unique. Okay, this username should be always unique here. Now, this is a unique value and the password may be same also here. And in some cases, we are going to be storing that elements here. Like I'm storing a book index. In order to identify whether a topic is available inside that book, you will be having that at the end of the book, they have given that book index. No need to look into each and every page by referencing that page to verify whether this topic has been described inside the page or not, inside the book or not. So for that directly we can go to the end of the book, which will be having all the information about the various topics which they have described inside that book. We can go to the book index and then inside that book index we can able to cross check whether this topic has been described or not. So now in this case, for every topic you will be having the two values are there. One is the title, nothing but the topic name, and the second one is the page number, nothing but in which page the topic has been described. Now let me know from these two which one is the unique, which one is the duplicate. Topic name is the duplicate or page number is the duplicate.
Page number is duplicate.
Page number is a duplicate. Nothing but topic name is nothing but the unique and the page number is duplicate. Nothing but here for the two topics the page number may be same. Why? Because is inside a page we can describe more topics also, because if the topic is a very small topic then we can describe multiple topics also inside the same page. So for that here for two topics the same page number will be available to you here. So nothing but what happened here, when coming to the some cases we are going to be storing the elements where every element will be having the two values. One is the key and the second one is the value here. Now, so now this is the key. This is the key and this is the value here. And this is the value. Now, When coming to the key here, okay, whenever you are going to be using that some elements where every element will be having the two values, one is the key and the second one is the value. Now, when coming to the list collection, sorry, the map collection is holding a collection of elements where every element will be having key and the value. Nothing but this is a key value pair collection. Okay, this is a key value pair collection. As of now, we have discussed list and set, but there we are adding the element directly here. Only one value we are passing. But here we need to pass two values. One is the key, second one is a value. So now, when coming to the every element, okay, every element will be having the key and the value over here. Now, in this kind of scenario here, when coming to the key, can I pass the same key for the multiple elements? No. When coming to the key should be always unique. The key should be always unique. We cannot provide the same key for the multiple elements here. For each and every element, we have to supply a different key. Nothing but key should be unique. And the value may be unique, value may be duplicate also here. It may be unique or it may be duplicate, repeated value, whatever here. So now whenever you are going to be having some elements inside that map collection, map is a key value pair collection where it will be holding some collection of elements inside that where every element will be having key as well as a value. Whenever you are storing some number of elements inside the map collection, for every element, we should have to maintain a unique key, nothing but a different key. But the value may be same, value may be duplicate, whatever you want, depends upon your need. It won't bother about that. But the key should be always unique over here. Now, let's take a scenario. For example, there is a case. I have added an element here. Okay, I have added an element. Okay, I have added an element with some key and the value. Now I'm adding one more element with the same key. Then what will happen here? We'll see practically these scenarios as well. When coming to the entry point of these kind of questions also they will raise. If I'm adding a new element with the same key, then what will happen in this case? Now, so now we'll see practically all those scenarios here. Now, whenever you are going to be specifying that key and the value, nothing but what needs to be done, we have to specify the two data types here. One is for the key, second one is for the value here. Now, what will be the data types over here? Whenever we are going to be having that key and the value, now these data types may be any of the data type here. These may be any of the data type. Nothing but the key and the value may be any of the data type like as these may be primitive type, yes subject type, these may be apex type, these may be collection type, these may be user defined type. Any of the type we can specify. There is no specific limitation here. But the key should be unique and the value should be unique or value may be duplicate also here. Then at that time, how can we define this map collection here? For that, we have to use map. Map of, we have to specify the two data types here. One is the key data type. Second one is the value data type, comma, we have to specify that value data type. Now, here we are specifying the two data types here. One is for the key, second one is for the value. And then you can specify the map collection name. Collection name equals to new map of key data type, comma, value data type. We can define the map here. Now, this is the way we are going to be defining that map. So now, what are the various functionalities given by the map collection? Now, let's see practically here. When coming to the map, map is a key value pair collection where every element inside that map should be having the key as well as the value. Now, key is a base based on which we can able to identify that particular element here. If we want to get that value, then first of all, we have to know that key. Based on the key only, we can able to get the element here. Now, if you don't know that key, then we cannot able to get the value here. So for that compulsory, we should have the key. Based on that key only, we can able to fetch the value here. Suppose, for example, if you're having some user's information, now I know my username, but I forgot my password here. If you want to get that password, then we can able to use the username. Based on the username, we can give some answer for the security question. We can able to get my password back also here. That flexibility will be there. Like the same way here also, by supplying that particular key, we can able to get that value of that element here. Without that key, we cannot able to get the element value. So for that here, always key is a base inside that map collection. Now, let's make a note of it here. Map collection. Map is a key value pair collection. It is a key value pair collection where each element contains a key and a value. Each and every element contains a key and a value. Whenever you are adding that element, for every element, we have to supply the key as well as the value here. Now in this case, now the key should be unique. The key should be unique. And the value may or may not be unique here. The value may be unique, value may be duplicate also, whatever, depends upon your need. Now, when coming to the map collection here, how many elements we can store depends upon your need. You can keep on adding the elements inside the collection, then automatically memory will be getting increased. The memory will be getting extended automatically here. Now, when coming to the map collection will support dynamic memory allocation, where the collection size can grow or shrink at runtime. The collection size can grow or shrink at runtime. Depends upon your need. Keep on, you can able to add the elements at runtime. Then automatically size will be getting increased and the memory will be getting extended. In future, if you don't need any some of the element, then you can remove the elements and automatically memory will be getting released, so that we can utilize the memory very, very efficiently here. Now, hence, it provides efficient utilization of memory. It provides the efficient utilization of the memory here. Now, whenever if you want to identify the elements, we have to identify the element based on the key. We have to supply the key in order to identify the element here. Identify the elements or to get the value of the element. In order to identify the element or to get the value of the element over here. So for that, we have to use that key only here. The keys should be always unique. And the next one, when coming to the map collection, is it an ordered collection or unordered collection? This is an unordered collection here again. Map is the unordered collection. Unordered collection, where it won't preserve the insertion order. It won't preserve the insertion order. Nothing but the elements will not be available in the same order which you have inserted. The elements will be in the jumbling order based on that key. Based on the key, it is going to be arranging the elements inside that collection in the sorting order over here by default. Now, when coming to the map collection here, whenever you are going to be storing that elements, then what type of elements here? The key and the value may be of primitive type, yes subject type, collection type, comma apex type, or a user defined type. So when coming to the key and the value, both may be either primitive type, a subject type, collection type, apex type, or a user defined type. So that any type of element here we can able to store inside that map collection. Then how can we define this map collection over here? Let's see that syntax. Map of, we have to specify that key data type, comma, value data type. And then you can specify the collection name equals to new map of key data type, comma, value data type. We have to supply both here. Now, in order to identify that element, we have to use that key only here, okay, not the value. Now, so now when coming to the map collection, how can we define that? For example, I'm defining the map collection, map of ID, comma, ID. Okay, map of ID, comma, ID. I'm defining that here. Now we can able to map record IDs, new map of ID, comma, ID. Or else we can able to store map of ID, comma, string, comma, string. Now I would like to store that element names here, like some fruit names. New map of string, comma, string. Nothing but where the key is also of type string and the value is also of type string. I'm storing map of ID, comma, account. Map accounts equals to new map of ID, comma, account. So what it means? ID means what? The record ID of this particular, nothing but the account record ID is the key and the whole account record is the value here. Nothing but ID is the key, nothing but the record ID. Account record ID is the key. And the account. The whole account is the value. The whole account record is the value here. We can able to fit that complete account record here based on this ID. Map of account. Map of account, comma, I would like to get the list of contacts. Observe this one here. Already we have discussed that for each and every account record, we may be having some collection of contacts. For that here, account is the key. If you are passing that account record, then we can able to get all the associated contacts also. So for that here, we are using account is the key and the list of contact is the values here. Now, account contacts equals to new map of account, comma, list of contact. So where the key is account record and the value is the list of contact records associated with the account. Now, I'm using some map of ID, comma, my position record here. Map positions, new map of ID, comma, position underscore C, where the key is the position record ID and the value is the whole position record. We can able to get that whole position record as a value itself here. Like that here, we can able to store some elements and we can able to fetch those elements from the collection as well. So now when coming to the map collection here, how can we manage the elements inside that? Like we can store the ID and the ID value and both the string values and the record ID and the whole record and one record and the collection of values as well. Like that we can able to store the different types of elements inside this collection as well. Now in order to manage the elements inside this map collection, Apex is providing some set of instance methods inside that. Now Apex provides a set of instance methods as part of map collection class. Map collection class, which are used to manage the elements inside the collection. If you want to manage the elements inside the collection, nothing but to add some elements, to remove some elements, to fetch some elements, at that time we are going to be using this instance methods provided by the map collection class to you. Now what are the various methods provided by this map collection class? Now we'll see practically here. Now, for example, I'm defining a map collection here. Map of string, string comma string. Some fruit names equals to new map of string comma string. For every fruit, I would like to take two properties. One is the name of the fruit. Second one is the color of the fruit. Okay, this is my requirement here. So now here I'm considering the color as the key and the fruit name as the value. Now, so then how can we add the elements inside these collections? Now let's see practically here. The first method. The first method is put method. When you go to that list and set, you will be having the similar kind of methods like as add all, and some methods will be same. Here also we are having some methods are same, but few method names are different. Inside that list collection and the set collection, to add the element we are using add method or add all. But here, if you want to add the element, we have to use put method. Inside that put method, we have to pass the key and we have to pass the value. Both we have to supply over here. Now, this method is used to add a new element to the collection. This method is used to add a new element to the collection. Now, for example, fruit names dot put. Fruit names dot put. I would like to add the element here. I'm adding that element, some yellow, now some fruit name is banana. Fruit names dot put. I'm adding some red, some apple. Fruit names dot put. I'm adding black grapes. Like that, we are adding some elements inside that. Fruit names dot put. I'm specifying like some green, some grapes. Can you store the same element name? Yes. Nothing but here this element name may be unique, the element name may be duplicate also here, but the key should be always unique. Key should be always unique here. The key should not be duplicate here. Okay. Now, so like that we can able to add some collection of elements inside this map collection by using put method. Suppose if you are having some collection of elements are there which you want to dump, then we can able to use a method called as put all method, where we have to specify the map collection. Nothing but from one map collection to another map collection, we can able to dump the values as well here. Now, this method is used to add a collection of elements from one map collection to another. We can able to add the elements from one map collection to another map collection as well. For example, fruit names dot put all. So at that time we can specify that source collection name, source map collection name, from where you would like to fetch the elements over here. In order to add that elements, we are having put method as well as put all method. Nothing but like as add all method, we are having here put method. And the third one, integer size method. That already you are aware of that. So what is the use of this size method? Size method is used to verify the collection size. It returns an integer element, nothing but integer value, which indicates the collection size. Nothing but how many number of elements are available inside that collection. Fruit names dot.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Firoz, how do you copy from one map collection to another map collection from, I mean, source to target?
Sorry?
How do you copy map collection from source to target?
For that, we are using that put all method. Whenever you are using that put all, then this source map collection name you can specify here. Whatever the elements are available, all the elements will be dumping into your new collection, which you have specified over here.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Now, suppose if you want to create a copy, okay, if you want to create a separate copy, at that time we can go with that clone method. Okay, now. So now here we are having one more method, boolean is empty. As usual, this is also same. This method is used to identify whether the specified collection is empty or not. Okay, this is the specified collection is empty or not here. For that, we are using this is empty method here. Now, this method is used to verify whether the specified collection is empty or not. If it is empty, it will return true. It returns true when the collection is empty. Else, it returns false. It is going to be returning that false. For that, we are using fruit names dot is empty. And the fifth element here. The fifth method is remove. If you want to remove an element from that collection, then we have to pass the key. Based on that key, we can able to remove the elements here. Whatever the key is available. Now, first of all, it will verify with this key, do we have any element is exist or not? If the element is exist, then it will be removing that element from that collection automatically by default here. This method is used to remove the element from the collection based on the specified key. Based on the specified key. For example, I would like to remove fruit names dot remove of some yellow. Whatever the element is available with that key yellow, it will be removing that element here. The next one. Suppose if you want to know, okay, if you want to know whether a specified element is available with the key or not. For that one, we are having a method called as contains key. Contains key method, where we have to specify the key. Now, what exactly the use of this contains key? Suppose if you want to remove an element or if you want to get an element, first of all, I want to know whether this element is exist or not. How can we identify the element? By using key. So for that here, first of all, I want to find out with this key, do we have an element inside the collection or not? For that, we are using contains key method. Contains key method is nothing but a Boolean method which is going to be returning either true or false to you, which identifies, which returns, which gives the confirmation whether the element is available with this key or not. So now for that, we are using this contains key method. This method is used to identify whether an element is exist inside the collection with the specified key or not. Now, if the element is exist, it will return true to you. It returns true when the element is exist. Else, it returns false. Else, it returns false. For example, I want to cross check that. I'm using that condition. Fruit name start contains key. If I'm passing some value over here, I'm passing some green. If the element is exist, then we can able to perform some operations over here. Else, we can perform some different operations over here. Now we can able to remove the element, or else we can able to show the message, show message, element not found. Now, so based on that element existency, we can able to perform whatever the operation that you want. If you want to fetch the element, or if you want to remove that element, then at that time we have to cross check whether the element is exist with this particular key or not. For that, we are using contains key method. If the element is exist with this particular key, then we can able to remove that element, or else we can show some different element to that user here. The next method, get. The get method is used to get the element based on that key. If you want to get any element from that collection, then we have to use a method called as get method. By using this method, we can get the element based on the specified key. Because if you want to get the element, then we have to supply the key. Nothing but key is the base over here. So now based on that key, if the element is available, it will returns to you, or else it will returns null, nothing but empty. Now, for example, I want to get that element here. Fruit name start get of some element here. Like as I'm giving some red, then automatically it is returning that value as, the output will be as apple. Whatever the value is available, that value will be getting written by the Salesforce to you here. And the next one. So now these methods are very, very important here. These two methods. Key set. Okay, the key set method. Key set method, what it returns, whatever the keys are available inside my collection. For example, we have added some elements inside this one. We have added 4 elements, yellow, banana, and the red apple, black grapes, and the green grapes. Nothing but these are the 4 elements we have added. Sometimes I want only the keys, nothing but only the keys, nothing but the colors, like as yellow, red, black, green. Only these values I want here. So now in this kind of scenario here, if we want to get only these particular keys, then we have to use a method called as key set. By using this key set method, we can able to fetch all the keys available inside that collection here. Now where we can store this key set method values? If we are having some 100 elements are there, every element will be having some key. Every element will be having some key. Those keys will be getting returns to you. Where we can store, if it is a single value, then we can store into a separate variable here by defining our own. But when coming to this particular collection, it is returning some collection of values, then where we can store. To store that value, we need a collection. Which collection do we need to use? List or set? If it is a list, then what kind of elements will be acceptable? Duplicates are also acceptable. When coming to the keys, keys are unique or duplicate? Unique. Where we can store unique values? In set collection. Nothing but the return type of this key set method is set collection. Okay. Now this point is very, very important here. This is the method always we are going to be using inside our programming from now onwards. Now, you should be familiar with all the methods which we have discussed as of now in list, set, and map. Okay, wherever you go, you will be getting all these collections to you. Okay, list, set, and map. These are the 3 on which we are going to be implementing the complete development concepts. So now when coming to the key set, it returns all the keys exist inside the collection. In that collection, whatever the various keys are available, all the keys will be getting returns to you here. How it is going to be returning? It is going to be returning inside that in terms of a set collection. In terms of a set collection. So that the return type is a set collection here. Set of data type. So now whatever the data type that you have defined for that key, the same data type you have to specify. Set string. Keys collection equals to fruit names dot key set. Now these are the values are available. Inside that fruits names collection, whatever the keys are available, all those keys we are fetching and we are storing inside a set collection, which is of type a set collection and which is of type a string. Why I have specified like as a string? Upon defining this fruit collection map, I have specified that key data type as string. The same data type we have to specify inside that set collection also. Now, the next one. Sometimes I want only the values. Okay, instead of having only the keys, I would like to have the values here. Like I would like to have the banana, apple, grapes, like that. I would like to have these values here. Now these values are what? Unique or duplicate? Duplicates also. Where we can store the duplicate values? We can store inside a list collection. List will be accepting duplicates and the set will not be accepting the duplicate values to you. So now in this kind of scenario here, when coming to that map collection, if you want to get all the values, then we have to use a method called as values method. Now this values method is going to be returning all the values to you here. It returns all the element values exist inside the collection. In the form of list collection. Nothing but the return type of this values method is a list collection again. List of data type. So now what are the data type that you have specified for that values inside the map? The same data type you have to specify over here. List of string values collection equals to fruit names dot values. So now here, when coming to the values method, it is going to be returning all the values available inside this particular collection here. Now, the 10th method, clear. This method you are already aware of here. This method is used to remove all the elements from the collection. For example, fruit names dot clear. So these are the various methods available when coming to that map collection here. Now when coming to the method list a map collection, if you want to add an element, then we have to use put method. If you want to add some collection of elements, we have to use put all. If you want to get the size, we can able to use that size method, which returns a number of elements exist inside the collection. And if you want to get whether the collection is empty or not, we have to use isEmpty method. To remove the element, we are using that remove method. And then to verify whether a specified element is exist based on the key, we can able to cross check that. And to get that element, we have to use that key. And to get all the keys, we have to use key set method. To get all the values, we have to use the values method. And to remove all the elements, we have to use clear method. So these are the various methods available inside this map collection. Now let's see a practical example here. How can we use this map collection? Now I'm going to be using that execute anonymous window in order to prepare a sample example over here. Go to the developer console. Open that execute anonymous window by using the shortcut or by using that navigation also, whatever you want. Now, so I'm using that execute anonymous window here. So now here I'm going to be describing the creating a map collection here. I'm creating the object for the map collection class. Map of string comma string. Fruit names here equals to new. Simply you can specify map of fruits equals to new map of string comma string. Nothing but the key is also of type string and the value is also of type string. Now I have defined that map collection here. We haven't added any elements here. Then I want to show what is the size of this collection here. Display the collection size. I'm using that system.debug. Collection size is map fruits dot size. I'm getting the size of this collection. We haven't added here. By default, it will be having empty, nothing but this is a 0 size. Now click on execute. The request has been sent to the server. See the result by selecting the debug only checkbox. It is displaying the result as collection size is 0. Nothing but there is no elements available inside the collection. So that the collection size is 0 right now over here. Now I would like to add some elements inside that. Adding the elements to map collection. Then how can we add the elements to the map collection? Now we will see here. Map of fruits dot put. I'm adding the element here. Yellow banana. Map of fruits dot put red apple. Map of fruits dot put green apple. Map of fruits dot put of black grapes. Like that, these are the elements that I have added here. Now, once I have added the elements, then I want to show that element's size, nothing but the collection size. I want to show that here. After adding elements, the collection size. Okay, I want to show that collection size here. Now here we have added 4 elements are there, so that it has to show that size as 4. Now click on execute. Let's verify the result. Select the debug only. Now it is showing that elements size is 4. Initially the collection size is 0, and after adding few elements inside the collection size is 4. Because we have added only 4 elements here. Whatever the elements are there, I want to show those elements here. How can we display the elements here? Display the collection elements. I'm displaying that collection elements here. So that all the elements we can able to show in a single row, or every element we can show in a different row also here. Both we'll see practically. Now collection elements are, I want to show that collection elements here. So that simply we can specify the collection name. Like as a list collection. Map of fruits. Simply automatically it is going to be displaying that elements to you over here. Now it provides both key and the value to you automatically. When you go to the debug only, it is providing all those elements to you over here. Now it is providing that black equals to grape, and green equals to apple, red apple, yellow banana. Nothing but all the 4 elements are visible to you inside that collection over here. Inside that collection, we can able to show all these elements as well. Suppose if you want to show only that collection's key, nothing but all the elements key. Display element keys. For that, we can use system.debug. Keys collection is, how can we get only the keys? Map of fruits dot key set method. So that by using that key set method, we can able to fetch only that keys, not the whole element. Click on execute. We can able to show only those keys. Now the key set is available here. When coming to the keys, you will be having black, green, red, and the yellow. Only the keys will be available here. Now when you verify the keys, how these keys are visible to you inside that sorting order? Nothing but when coming to the map collection, this is not in ordered collection, this is unordered collection to you here. So for that, whatever the order that you have added the elements in the same order, this is not available inside that. Nothing but based on that key, it is going to be sorting the elements inside that by default. Now.
Feroz?
Yeah.
Can you please show by like kind of adding a duplicate key value?
We'll come to that.
Another.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Duplicate elements also will see that. Now, I want to show that elements here. System.debug element values. So I want to show only the values here. If you want to get the values, we have to use a method called as fruits.values. By using that values method, we can able to get only that values, nothing but the element values. Let's execute that code. So now here, when you select the debug only checkbox, we can able to get only that values. Now like banana, apple, and the grapes. Nothing but these values are available to you. Nothing but here is a list collection, so that duplicate elements may be available here. Now.
Sorry, Feroz. I want to check whether it throws an exception when you give a duplicate key.
Just give me a minute. I'm coming to that point actually.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Now, so now here I'm adding the duplicate elements. I'm adding the duplicate elements inside the collection. Whenever I'm adding the duplicate elements, observe what will happen here in this case. For example, I'm adding some elements are available here. I'm adding one more element to my collection. Map, fruits dot, put off. I'm specifying some red. I'm adding that cherry. Okay. So now with the name red, already one element is available here. With the key red, already an element is available. This is nothing but the red apple is there. Now we are having some red apple, but now I'm adding one more element with the name red cherry. So now in this kind of scenario, what happened is, now whenever you are trying to be adding a new element, first of all, it will be getting that key, okay, which you are going to be adding right now. It will verify with this particular key, already do we have an element is exist or not? If the element is exist, then at that time, whatever the value is there inside that existing element, that value will be overriding this new value here. Nothing but here, inside that place apple, it will be overriding that value with cherry. Nothing but with one key at a time, we can have only one element, not the multiple. Whenever you are going to be adding a new element, nothing but whenever you are adding a new element with the same key, the new value will override that old value. It won't show any error messages also. Previously in the listed collection, we have discussed that whenever we are going to be adding the duplicate elements, it will be getting added. In the set collection also, we have discussed whenever you are adding a map, a new element to that set collection, which is having the same element name, at that time, simply it will be ignoring that operation here. It won't show any error message. Here also, it won't show any error message. Whatever the new element that you are going to add, that new value will override that old value for the same key. Now, let's see that practical information here. So now here I would like to show that elements here. I'm displaying that collection elements. After adding duplicates. After adding duplicate, the collection elements are, I'm displaying those collection elements here. Let's execute that. Now verify that code. Now whenever you are identifying that black grapes, green apple, red cherry. Previously what we have red apple is there, but now it has been modified that value with that cherry. Nothing but the apple value has been overwritten with cherry here. The collection size is what? 4. Nothing but it is not increased, nothing but the same element will be getting overwritten with that new element, whatever you have specified here. Instead of red apple, it will be having red cherry to you. Okay, so it won't show any error message to you. Simply it will be updating that existing value with the new value over here. Now, the next one here. For example, I want to get an element here. So now get an element. From the collection. I want to get an element here. Before getting that element, first of all, I would like to cross check that. Now I'm having some green. Based on that key, do we have an element is exist or not? Here I would like to verify. For that, first of all, I'm using. First of all, we need to cross check with this name, do we have an element is exist or not here? Why? Because is, if you are going to performing any operation based on that element value, if the element value is not there, it will be throwing that null. So that null pointer exceptions will be getting arise inside your application here. So that as a developer, we need to cross check that null pointer exceptions and we need to avoid those things. So for that, always we have to add the proper conditions to avoid the null pointer exceptions. Now, for that here I'm verifying that before getting that element, first of all, I need to cross check, do we have an element with this particular key or not? So for that here we are verifying that with the help of a method called as contains key. Map fruits dot contains key. Now with this key, do we have an element is exist or not? I'm specifying that green. If the element is exist, it will be displaying that nothing but it will be coming into that block here, nothing but returning true. If it is true, it will be coming into that block over here. So that I want to show that element here. Element value is map of fruits dot get of green. Now, if the element is exist, then I am getting that value of that element by using that get. Else, I want to show the message here. System.debug element not found. Okay, element not found inside that collection here. So for that here we are going to be using that contains key. Contains key, it is very important method when coming to our applications here. Now let's execute this code. Now let's execute this code. See this result. Now it is giving that value as apple. Nothing but we have passed that value as green. The green apple is available here. Suppose for example I'm giving the value as 1. I'm giving that value as green 1. Now with this name we don't have any key. So at that time what will happen? We are expecting element not found here. Let's verify that code. Now with the green 1 we don't have any element is available, so that it is displaying the message element not found. Based on that we can able to do the processing. So for that here we have to specify these elements over here. The next one, check for the collection is empty or not. I want to cross check whether the collection is empty or not here. So for that we are using that method here. Now if map of fruits dot is empty, I want to show that message system.debug collection is empty. Else I want to show the message system.debug collection is not empty. So now in order to verify the collection is empty or not, we are going to be using that method, is empty method. By using this is empty method, we can able to verify whether the specified collection is empty or not. Now let's execute that. This collection is already holding some elements, so that here it is displaying that message collection is not empty. Okay, this collection is not empty right now. The next one, I want to remove an element here. Remove an element. Now whenever I'm removing that element, first of all I would like to verify whether the element is exist or not. So for that here I'm going to be verifying that map fruits dot contains key. I'm removing that element green. If the element is exist, I want to remove that here. Map fruits dot remove of that element name. Or else I want to show that message here. System.debug element not found in the collection. So now here, whenever you are going to be removing that element, then first of all, we have to cross check whether the element is exist or not. If the element is there, then only we can remove, or else we can able to make it as display some message element not found inside this collection. Now click on execute. Now it won't show any error message here. Now, because it won't show any result also, because here the collection, from that collection automatically the element has been removed over here. So now if you want to show that collection size, system.debug, after removing the element, collection size. I want to show that collection size here. Map fruits dot size. I want to show that collection size. Once the element has been added, then we can able to see that collection size. Previously we are having the collection size 4, now the collection size is 3 because we have removed one element over here. And the next one, I want to show all the elements here. Okay, I want to show all the element keys. Display all element keys. So for that here I want to show all the elements keys in the different rows. Then how can we implement that? For that I am using the for loop. For each and every string value, string element key from that keys collection. How can we get the keys collection? Map of fruits dot key set. Now I'm using the enhanced for loop. Already you are aware of that here. Here specify that collection name where exactly the elements are available. From that get each and every element here and display that element. System.debug element key is, I want to show that element key. Like the same way I want to show the element values. I want to show the element values. For that we are using that string element value from the collection. How can we get all the values? By using map of fruits dot values. Then it is getting all the collection of values, and then from there we can fetch each and every value and we can able to process it here. System.debug element value is, I want to show that element value. Now we can display the keys as well as we can display the values also. Let's execute that code. Now we can cross check that all the values. Now here we can able to see all the element keys over here. Element key is yellow, red and the black, and the element value is banana, cherry and the grapes. So now here we can able to get the element keys as well as element values also. Now in some cases I want to show both also here. How can we show? Display both element key and value. So for that, to get that value, what we need that key. So for that here, first of all, we have to get the keys collection. So now here I'm getting that keys collection, element key from the map of fruits dot key set. By using that key set, we can able to fetch the key. Based on that key, we can able to fetch that element also by using that get method. So for that here, I'm displaying that system.debug element key. I want to show that element key over here. I'm using that element key. And along with that, I want to show that value also. Nothing but element value. Now this value I'm displaying that. How can we get that element value? By using that map collection, map of fruits dot get. In that get, we have to pass that element key here. Whatever the element key that we have, pass that element key. Based on that key, it will be getting that value. It will be displaying those values to you over here. Inside a single row, we can able to see one element, nothing but the element key and the element value. Like that, multiple elements and the keys we can able to display over here. Now, let's execute that. Click on debug only. Now we can able to see the keys as well as the values also here. Now the element key is yellow, the value is banana, key is red, value is cherry, key is black, and the value is grape. And then if you want to remove all the elements from the collection, then we can able to remove that element here. Remove all the elements. Map of fruits dot clear. So now after that I want to display that message. After removing all elements, the collection size. I want to show that map size here. Once the elements has been removed from that collection, I would like to show that map size. Now click on execute. Once all the elements has been getting removed, then the collection size will be 0. So that it is giving that message here. After removing all elements, collection size is 0. So this is the way we are going to be using the various methods inside this map collection class. Okay. So now we are done with that the listed collection, set collection, and the map collection. In tomorrow's session, we are going to be discussing